Okay, so we'll see a simple agentic AI, right, in Python. But of course, definitely in real scenarios, you have to go with either any Bedrock or cloud-based uh, tool to deploy your agents. This is just to illustrate and to give a basic sense of how an agent works. That's it. Okay, but definitely I'll be creating a deep dive on agentic AI and Gen AI with the cloud-based deployment end to end. Technically, if anyone's interested, please stay tuned. You will definitely see the interesting course in some time. But this video, this playlist, okay, my focus is to give that foundation. So just to refresh what we learned in theory. So agent KI, right? So a normal chatbot versus agentic KI. A normal chatbot is kind of a reactive thing. If you ask a question, it gives an answer. For example, if I say, hey, what is the stock level of SKU 0001, right? So the chatbot says that, okay, stock is low. But an AI agent goes further. Okay, it can follow a goal. It check the inventory. It predict whether the stock he's having any risk in becoming a stock out, right? Recommend reorder quantity also based on the predicted value for next 10 days or whatever, right? Then drafts an email to the supplier. So you just review that email, review the output of prediction, just send the email. So agents will help you to focus on the most strategic work than manual process, like running the model, because you have to be there at risk model prediction and everything, but in other steps, right? So to achieve that goal. So in simple words, if I put it right, what we just discussed some time back. So what actually is agent's thing is, what is the goal, right? And then reasoning. Then what sort of tools? Some time back I have explained, right? And then the action. Simple. So at a high level, the math is not very different from generative AI. The LLM still predicts the next token, but the important difference is that some of those tokens are now converted into tool calls. Instead of a token get the response, this here it is tool call, execute something, right? Instead of only generating the text, the model can decide, let me call the inventory function, then let me calculate the order quantity. Let me draft the supplier email. So this is actually a loop. So it's an agent loop, right? So how it actually works is observe. This is the flow. So it observes, then think, then act. This is important one, right? Then again, observe again. So it's cyclic thing, right? So that's it, right? Suppose if I'm store manager in a store, right? So what I do, I observe the stock, right? Wherever the stock is low, the respective product. And then based on my experience, I can guess that, okay, will this stock run out of, this product run out, right? And check the sales, etc. Then you simply calculate the order quantity and do send an email to the supplier to send some stock. Simple, right? So the same way agent also works. So let's see a simple worked out example in Python. So we know the data tables what we are using here, right? So here we are building a simple AI style agent. This is of course purely rule based, but yeah, because we should have Bedrock. But as I said, right, if just try to understand the basic concept now. For now, future soon, very soon, you will be learning more tech depth part of agentic AI, right? So what actually do, it actually monitors the inventory, checks the demand, identify the stock out risk, recommend reorder quantity, and drop the email. Simple. So import the required libraries, and this is a simple SHOPSPHERE inventory data. Here I'm not using any data sets. I'm just giving manually I'm actually preparing a data set here. Simply inventory data equal to this one. Sorry, I mentioned that we are not using. I'm sorry. Yeah, we are directly creating the data, simple sample data, just to show how agent works. Okay, so this is my data that I'm creating, like SKU, product name, current stock, suppliers, supplier name, or email, lead time days, how much time the supplier will take to deliver that, minimum order quantity for the supplier is 100, total cost, etc. Right? So then what is the demand, recent demand? Like, so 1, 2, 3, 4. So these SKUs, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 SKUs. This is the inventory data. I am creating the demand data. This is my demand data. Then inventory details, right? So actually it is calculating the inventory details, sorry, it is actually extracting it. Then demand, it is also extracting. Then now it is calculating stock out risk. What is the stock out risk? I'm using a simple formula. If days of stock left is less than or equal to lead time, means what? So suppose lead time is 5 days. So days of stock left is only for 3 days, but you need at least 5 days to order the product. So there is a risk involved in it. Then there is a high risk. So stock may run before the supplier can deliver. Then there is a medium risk, low risk. You are defining it. Instead of this, in this place, in this function here, you can bring your machine learning, predict the risk for SKU level. Okay, this is a rule-based example, right? So then reorder quantity, how much I have to reorder? Again, a simple math. Target stock equal to expected demand plus safety stock. So safety stock is a minimum level, and you're actually using average daily sales into 3, and expected demand is average sales into planned number of days. If you are planning for 15 days or 14 days, whatever it is, you can do a simple math. Again, this is also rule-based. Instead, in reality, you can bring a forecasting algorithm to predict what could be the expected demand. Right? So now you think this is a layman example I'm walking you through for your understanding. But in reality, now you are dealing with 1 ml to predict the risk for stock out, 1 ml to predict the or forecast the expected demand, or sorry, forecast the demand. Right? So two machine learning algorithm. That's the reason always I say people when they start when they want to start learning from Gen AI to become an agentic AI expert, I said no, this is actually start with the data. Oh, the 8 layers, how actually I described in this playlist, right? So you have to have clear understanding of those 8 layers to become an agentic AI expert, because these rules are simply not possible, right? For a big organization like ShopSphere, millions of products, you have to have an ML, right? So could be a time series algorithm to forecast this one, the demand. Then what I'm trying to do here is draft an email. So just draft an email wherever for the respective suppliers, wherever there is a risk in that SKU. Right? Then this goal is to check the inventory risk and recommend action for SKU. That's it. I mean, all the rules. Again, this is completely rule based, but there are so many, inbuilt agents you can actually based on the ML output, you can put your own. So many methods are there, like LangGraph based. We will discuss QAA, OpenAI, Gemini. So many are there. This is plain rule based. This does not require any LangGraph, but that is the reality. But soon you will, if you're interested, please stay tuned. You will be learning in depth of agentic AI, how to build agent and multi-agent systems, right? So that's it. So you can go through the code just to understand like what exactly an agentic AI is, right? Now you understand, right? So what human as a store manager do, check the inventory, identify the risk, then send an email. Similarly, here also we are doing each and everything through programming. And see here, we're observing the demand, then thinking of stock risk. There's a risk high, risk low, etc. Right? Then you are actually drafting an email to a supplier. Running shoes is going to be a high risk, so send an email. Right? That's it. So this is the email draft supplier. So in just one click, imagine if you're building this an entire system, maybe you can do Streamlit application or a web application, and simply it displays this output. So you can simply draft and send the email. Okay. So this is basically a simple agent, but in reality, you don't directly put these kind of rules. So you intervene machine learning or deep learning algorithms wherever there is uncertainty. So use the ML, fine tune ML, take the ML output, and the way how I explained in theory class, right? So the ML for predicting the risk, the forecasting model for demand. So you connect all these things and achieve the goal of identifying the stocks which will be stock out soon in next 14 days, and write an email to the supplier. Okay, so this ends the hands-on, basic hands-on of agentic AI. I hope you got strong foundation on this, what exactly agent, how they work and all. But more framework like LangGraph or QAA, we will be discussing soon. I'll see you with the in-depth stuff of Gen AI and agentic AI. Okay, thank you.